Last July 18, a new set of Binibining Pilipinas queens were crowned. The pageant's 2026 edition introduces us to a worthy roster of beauty queens who each come with their own advocacies and stories to tell. Hello, you're tuned into Rappler Talk. I'm multimedia reporter Juno Reyes, and it's an honor for me to introduce our guests for today. We have Binibining Pilipinas International Gwendoline Soriano of Baguio City. We have Binibining Pilipinas Globe Sasha Lacuna of Tarlac. First runner-up, Julianne Raine Antonio of Dumaguete. And second runner-up, Tracy Sunio of Bacolod. Hi, ladies. Welcome to Rappler.
Hello.
It's a
Happy
pleasure to have you here.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Thank you for coming. You all look so beautiful today.
Thank you for having us. You are beautiful.
I love your outfit.
But of course, to start things off, I'd like to congratulate you all on the Binibining Pilipinas run that you've had so far. I'm sure it wasn't easy, so I'm excited to hear all about it. So, yeah, to get the ball rolling, how are each of you feeling about making it into the top four? Like, could you take us to the exact moment that you heard your names get called on stage? We can start with Gwen.
Yeah, it still feels so surreal, especially on that specific moment. But I was just very present during that time. And when my name was called, I was the first one to be called for the top four. And I was just so happy, just really so happy. I was smiling the whole time. I saw the videos. And it's nice to share that moment with the people I love. My family and friends are there. The people who support me, they were all there. And I also get to share the stage with my sisters. So, but my heart's just filled with so much joy and gratitude that time, especially until now.
Me as well. I was very happy because I was last to be called.
Oh yeah,
Oh my
the
gosh.
relief last.
Oh, the relief, the excitement, and I was just so grateful because although I had so many of my friends still standing by me, even though there was only one spot left, I was so grateful to come forward because it was another chance for Tarlac to grace, possibly at that time, the international stage. Because of course, top four pa lang.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was so excited.
You go.
I was also in the moment. I was present. It's my first pageant, so hearing my name called, just another feeling I'll never forget. And I immediately looked at my mom, the people that I love, and I just shared a moment with them as well because they've all been there for me and they've helped me throughout my whole journey. And so I wanted to make sure that I had that moment with them while, right after I heard my name and walking down the stairs. And it was definitely a surreal moment that I'll never forget.
For me naman, I cried a little because since it was my second time joining Binibining Pilipinas, I felt that moment parang, oh, this is my time, parang ganon. And this is also the first crown for Bacolod City. And that's something that I'm really proud of. And when my name was called, I didn't know what to do at first. Medyo hesitant pa ako to step forward. And I just heard my family, my teams aside screaming, and I just felt God with me during that time. So I just felt so grateful at that moment.
All like such different stories, but I'm sure like it must have been so nerve-wracking in the moment when you're waiting for your name to be called. But of course, I'd love to ask about like each of your pageant journeys now. So we have Gwen, you'll be representing Miss International.
Next
You'll be
year.
representing the Philippines.
Philippines,
Yeah.
yes.
So I know you initially planned to compete in Binibining Pilipinas a few years ago, but you withdrew. What made you want to come back this time to try again?
There's something in me that I know I have to finish what I've started. And in 2022, and even before that, it was really a dream for me to join Binibini. I grew up watching the pageant and seeing and looking up to the queens that I've produced. And I felt so empowered and inspired by these women. And when I grew up, I realized this is also the path that is for me. And I see it as a calling. And when I had the opportunity to join in 2022, I really tried, but that wasn't the time for me. I had to go through a lot that time, and I had to withdraw because of some conflicts with my work. But then again, a few years later, after 4 years of waiting and molding and transformation, I believe so that this year was really the time for me, because when the opportunity arose, I just knew deep in my heart that I had to try again.
Of course, it's been a very eventful journey for you because you also competed in another prestigious pageant last year.
I know. You know, it really helped me a lot. That experience, that was my first national pageant. It was a big one. And I had to face a lot of pressure, a lot of challenges as well, not just physically, financially, everything. I was also suffering that time when it comes to my physical health. So I really had to learn a lot of lessons. And I knew that after that, if I were to join again, I have to take care of myself holistically. So it was my priority to take care of my mind, my body, my soul, spiritually most especially. I really have to focus on what really matters. And when it comes to joining this year, yeah, I was able to do all that. And I'm grateful that God really placed me here at the perfect time and when I am really ready for it.
How would you say you've evolved in that time? Parang the Gwen that we see now, how different is she from the one that we saw last year and even in 2020?
I feel like it's very evident. A lot of people tell me, "Oh, that's so you feel and you seem like you're so different from how we see you before." Maybe because that time I was also young, and really the experience really molded me. That time, there are a lot of voices that I have to listen to. And I made sure that I learned from it, that if I were to try again, I have to know who I really am, what I want. And I have to be firm with my identity, that no matter how loud the noises are, I won't be listening. Because I am rooted in my identity in Christ, and that's what matters. I will be living with an audience of one and not pleasing everyone else. So I focused on that, and I hope that a lot of people saw that also.
And it's clearly paid off. You're here now. You're
Yeah,
going to
I
be representing the
know.
Philippines in
Thank
Miss
you.
International.
Thank you.
And of course, Sasha, you also competed in another pageant last year.
Yes, we were batchmates.
Yeah. How would you say like that experience molded you into the beauty queen that you are now?
The same experience. Well, Gwen and I had similar experiences, like especially when it comes to pressure. Like I was the first representative of my province at that prestigious pageant, and there was a lot of attention and audience that brought me into that space. And of course, since there's so many people watching you, there are a lot of expectations that comes with it. So learning how to balance, to please someone else, to please your team, your family, your friends, I had to navigate that all last year. At the same time, let go some of the people pleasing and not bring it into this year. I also had to check up on my health. Like my approach with my diet last year wasn't great, and it could not sustain me for the rest of my life. It could only sustain me at that time and at that period. So I had to learn a different diet and learn a different lifestyle in order to sustain me here in Binibining, which I had some good reviews about, and some good reviews and changes about my body. So I'm so happy about that. And as well as my team, I did not choose people who did not work with us and who could not accommodate my needs this year. So yeah, a lot of challenges, but when you pray for God to give you courage, does He give you courage directly, or situations for you to be courageous? So a lot of that I learned this year.
It's interesting, no? I never actually realized how much really goes on behind the scenes to prepare for pageants.
A lot. A lot.
It's crazy, but thank you for letting me in on that.
Thank
Of course,
you.
Julian, it's a different story for you because you joined your first pageant at 24 years old, and I'm sure you were up against many girls who have been competing from a young age. So did that pressure you in any way?
I would say in the beginning, yeah, I would compare well, not necessarily compare myself, but I was like, wow, these girls have had so much experience already. But then at the end of the day, I told myself to just be myself, and the only competition I have is really with myself, how to better myself every day and how I can give my 100% every day. And that's really what I wanted to be like for the rest of the journey, and just to not compare myself, because that just always brings you down. And just being myself really helped me. Just using it as a learning lesson, a learning journey, and how I can better myself, for not just for myself, but for other people around you. And what I liked about this journey is that all of the girls that were my competitors were really my sisters. And I learned so much from them, especially the ones that, they've all helped me since, they've been in this pageant industry for a very long time. So they would help me with my makeup, with my hair, just everything. And I really had a lot of sisters. I have a lot of new sisters now.
Yeah, no crab mentality
No.
here.
No.
And I was observing you guys, like, before we went on air, I saw you were helping each other, like, put on your crowns. It was really nice. Yeah. But you ended your Binibining Pilipinas run on a high note because it's your first pageant and you ended up as the first runner-up also.
Yes.
How did that inspire you as a budding beauty queen?
Oh my gosh, I just was so happy. Like, it really reminded me again that you can do whatever you set your mind to, and I'd love to use that as my platform, as a reminder to all the little girls out there, and that you can really do whatever, and you don't even if you start late, because technically I started late. Usually people start early on. But yeah, just as long as you believe in God, that whatever happens, happens, and that He's always there for you, that's really all that matters. You can start a new journey at whatever time in your life. It's never too late. Yeah.
And of course, Tracy, this isn't your first rodeo. You were named second runner-up this year, but you also competed in the past. What did you do differently this time to notch a top 4 finish?
There are a lot of things that I did differently. The first one really was to make sure that I'm more focused, because before, I had one comment nga, which is true, na before, parang nene talaga ako. And to tell you the truth, 2 years ago, I didn't know what Binibining Pilipinas was. And kasi I'm not into pageantry talaga. And hindi din ako, I'm not the kind to watch pageants before. So like parang, ano ba to? So I did my research, and I also worked as a marketing sa city namin. So I worked under pageantry. So sa Miss Bacolod Mascara, I was the one looking for sponsors. So I know the business side of pageantry, and I took advantage of the knowledge that I have and applied it sa journey ko ngayon. So, ngayon mas careful, and I can say mas calculated din yung approach ko. And just like Sasha, I also created my own team. I joined independently, but parang nagpa-adopt ako sa isang management under IDL. Parang sila nag-help sa akin do my wardrobe, find help dito sa Manila. Since I'm from the province, mahirap maghanap ng makeup artist here that knows your face, di ba? Kailangan kasi hiyang yung makeup artist sa face mo. So, we did a lot of bookings din for hair and makeup. So, parang like team ko, I am so proud because they are all young and very talented, and na-showcase nila yung skills nila and talent on the national stage. Yeah. So, those are the things that I did differently. I'm also more more involved sa lahat ng decision making. Like for example, may national costume. It was part of, kasi dati, when I was in elementary school, I was part of the mascara dancers. Wow. So, yung color ng national costume ko was the color of my costume nung nagdance ako sa mascara when I was in elementary. So, mga small details that adds a bit of me sa lahat ng ng labas for Binibining Pilipinas. And I do think that because of those things, I felt more empowered kasi I have a say. I have a say sa journey ko ngayon. And I think that's the beauty of choosing your own team and making sure that your team also chooses you and prioritizes you. So parang like, I think they helped me a lot din sa journey ko. So yeah, that's what I did differently. And there are a lot more things. Feeling ko hindi na ako tatapos. Pero yun yung feeling ko core things that really helped me won the crown this year. And I'm really grateful for that.
It's so interesting you were able to learn the business side of pageantry.
Oo.
Tapos may ano ko pa pala, like past experience sa mascara.
Yes, as in, and it's also stressful din yung yung business side. That's why I understand we are working with the team, mga lahat under sa BPCI, and that's why I think we all have a good relationship din kasi everyone, we are stressed, they are stressed sometimes. So we just show kindness and respect towards each other, and I think that's the most important thing.
Pero syempre, pageantry isn't all just about how you look, how you walk on stage. It's also about the causes that you champion. So I'd love to hear about the advocacies that each of you have. So let's start with Gwen. So you mentioned that you're a staunch advocate of Philippine culture and the arts. How did that become your advocacy?
I grew up performing cultural dances, specifically our Philippine folk dances, and that's something that I'm very passionate about, amongst other things. And it started when I was a candidate for Miss Baguio, and then we were trying to develop an advocacy that is really close also to our advocacies in Baguio. And we are a cultural city. And that's something that I want to integrate to the whole Philippines, that we can shine and express ourselves through creative expression, which is performing arts. And nowadays, kasi our youth, even the children, they're not that aware about our culture. And it's a big part because I personally, growing up, it has a huge advantage, especially that I know my identity as a Filipino. And it made me also empowered to connect to other cultures. I had an experience working abroad, and I had to connect with different cultures and different people of different walks of life. And it really helped me because I'm confident of where I came from, of who I am as a Filipina. And it's something that I'm very excited also as I represent the Philippines, that I get to showcase that, not just in Japan, but internationally. So that's one thing that I'm looking forward to. And I would like to partner also with a lot of organizations, with NCCP hopefully, and even with the little ones in our LGUs, just so we could integrate culture and our education.
You know, over the past few months, we've seen a lot of Filipinos bring their talents to the global stage. Like we have P-pop groups performing and bringing parts of our culture to international festivals. But for you, what specific aspects of Filipino culture in the arts would you like to spotlight, particularly when you go on to compete in Miss International?
Aside from, of course, we have such beautiful cultures and virtues and values as Filipinos, I want them to see personally the rich dances, rich culture when it comes to performing arts. Our folk dances, sometimes kasi nakakalimutan na siya. As simple as tinikling, other kids don't know about tinikling anymore. We have a lot of beautiful dances that I really want people to see, especially those abroad, just so they'd see the beauty of our country, na hindi lang tayo basta-basta resilient, masipag, we're not just hardworking and kind people. We have so much to offer, and that's one part of that is our culture. And I'm very excited for that. So hopefully with the help of BPCI also, I have a lot of time to prepare. I have more than a year. So let's see what we could do.
Yeah, and it's really interesting also that you have a background in Philippine folk dance. Do you have a personal favorite that you want to like showcase to the Miss International audience?
When I was in college, I was a part of the dance troupe in our university. And because I'm tall and I'm kind of mestiza, they always make me dance our Maria Clara dances, the Spanish influence dances of the Philippines. And aside from that, again, our urban, we have what we call urban dances. So doon yung mga tinikling, meron tayong mga paso doble, meron tayong mga yung binasuan, yung mga simple as those dances kasi medyo nakakalimutan na rin siya. So maybe those. And even Cordy, we have Cordilleran dances because I'm from Baguio.
Yeah, of
So
course.
marami ring hindi may alam ng mga Cordilleran dances. We have the banga, we have Benjan, celebratory dances. So there's a lot.
Oh my gosh, I'm looking forward to it. You have more than a year, so
Yes.
I'll be tuned in by
I
then.
know. Sana makapag-produce kami ng videos featuring those dances because
Yeah,
there's
oh my
really
gosh,
a lot.
that would be so nice. And Sasha, moving on, you're a big advocate of mental health, and you've mentioned before that you would partner up with Project Calm in the past. Could you tell us more about the work that you do with them?
Oh yes, and about Project Calm, the main reason why that I wanted to help them is because I got to speak with one of their head in the organizations, and they lack funding, they lack attention, and what they do is very heartfelt because high school students, they go through a lot these days, a lot of factors considering social media, bullying is still rampant in schools, and there's a lot that goes on into the minds of the high school students, especially they're developing young adults. So the fact that Project Calm, in every municipality in our province, they choose a public school, send them to a function hall, and for half a day or a whole day, they teach about mental health practices. They help destigmatize conversations about mental health. They talk about and teach to the high school students to ask for help and have these conversations, especially in their homes, to help teach their parents that mental health issues isn't a problem. It is something that we humans experience. It is a normal thing, and it's gonna be okay for them and for everyone. So Project Calm, they mentioned that they don't even have proper funding from DepEd. So if, of course, me, a vessel, and connecting with BPCI, I hope that I could help bring attention to the causes of Project Calm, and hopefully that they could have allocated funds, unang-una, have space for allocated funds sa DepEd, and just really help them, help their causes, because what they do is very meaningful for the generation today.
And I recall that you also mentioned that you're an advocate of HIV awareness and also the mental health of people who are struggling with it. Of course, there's still a stigma surrounding surrounding HIV here in the Philippines, and I think a large part of their mental health issues really comes from the stigma that they face.
Exactly.
So how would you go about explaining it to people who kind of still have a negative view towards people who have HIV?
Oh yes. The organization I work with is the Kanlahi Community Center. They are also based in my home province, and they've been doing all of these works for like about a decade now or less. And yet again, they don't have funding, they don't have the resources. They need a network for them to have the attention so that people could also have and be educated more on destigmatizing the topic. Of course, with HIV and AIDS, let's say at the time of Princess Diana, she was there physically at the hospitals, touching the victims of HIV and AIDS. And first of all, hindi siya transmittable by touching people who have them, unang-una. Second of all, it is a disease that needs more attention because it has no cure yet. We still need to develop scientifically a method and a medicine, a vaccine to be able to eradicate this problem. And yet again, it doesn't mean that it's sexually transmitted. We just have to teach people to be able to use contraceptives properly, to be able to have sexual contact in a hygienic way, all of these practices. But we must normalize these in our society because, of course, to help with the mental health of these people as well.
Yeah. We still have a very long way to go here in the Philippines, but I'm glad that you're using your platform to kind of help shed light on that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Julian, your main focuses are animal welfare and accessible healthcare.
Yeah.
Were there any particular experiences that led you to want to champion those causes?
Yes. Regarding animal welfare, I've always been drawn to helping strays at an early age. Thankfully, my parents allowed me to feed the strays when we lived in Pasig. And I ended up, as I got older, and I'm capable of adopting them now, I have a lot of stray cats that I take care of. And I actually found, when I was living in the US, I found 2 strays. They were so tiny, they were like a day old. I named him Lucky, and then a year later I found another one, I named him Lulu. So I flew them here, and so wow, they came from the US and now they're living here. But that I've always been drawn to helping strays, and I've traveled a lot, and I've seen how, for example, Turkey takes care of their strays really well. They have a lot of feeding areas for their strays, and I'd love for our country to have stronger laws against animal cruelty here, and do more TNR programs, because we all know that the population of strays is rampant, and I'd love to help control that population. TNR is basically trap, neuter, and release, and it helps, of course, the population, and it doesn't harm them anyway. You have the vets just neuter and spay them. And regarding the better healthcare, my mom has cancer, and the reason why I moved to the US was because my mom's liver failed there. And although it was hard for us to move to the US, I'm thankful that it happened there, because we were able to find her a donor and to have a liver transplant. And here, sadly, liver transplants in general are very hard, and everybody here deserves a second chance in life, no matter, how much money you have, And I'd hope that we can help the government, take more action to helping our people, and because everyone deserves proper health care.
Yeah, that's right. And I love that you're using your personal experiences with these causes to really fight for them.
Thank you.
And it's interesting also because there are a lot of donation drives happening now, adoption drives for
I'm
strays.
so happy to see that.
Yeah, it's like, it's happening every weekend, and I remember parang in the past, it wasn't
There wasn't
that,
at all. Even TNR programs, actually, a lot of LGUs are doing a lot of TNR programs. I see it on Facebook. The barangays are doing, they're doing free TNR programs.
Oh, yeah.
Free neuter and spay for their cats and dogs, which is so wonderful.
I know, I love it.
Because before it was never there.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see what else you can do. Since you're advocating for this with the Binibining Pilipinas platform, super cool.
I know that Araneta, they have a cat program, so stay tuned for what we're gonna do. I'm very excited. Yes.
And Tracy, I know you're a firm believer in holistic elderly wellness. Same question, is there a specific experience or an individual that led you to want to really champion this cause?
Yeah, it all started when my father passed away a few months ago. I was the one who took care of him. I was the one who changed his diaper, who fed him, and also paid for everything. So it's really hard. And I've seen how my father struggled. Even though I provided everything, there are moments where he felt sad and self-pity. And that's something that most elderly experience, because especially if they are, for example, my father had stroke, he had a heart attack, and he had a lot of complications. If they are dependent on the people around them, they tend to self-sabotage and think about themselves negatively. So I really want to champion this cause, because there are a lot of lolas and lolos who are neglected. My father is just fortunate that I'm his daughter. But what about those lolos and lolas who needs help? There's actually one home in the neighboring municipality that the lolos and lolas there are super neglected. They live in rooms that are inhumane. I want to focus on that and help them, because given that we have a beautiful and big platform, I know that I can work with the LGUs and help our elderly. And I've been doing this actually for almost 10 years now, not even realizing that, oh wow, this is an advocacy that I've been doing na. So I've been donating sa isang home din sa city namin. So depende what they need. If, for example, 2 years ago, they needed electric fans for the houses of the lolas and lolas, so I donated a few fans. Last year, I donated a few sacks of rice and mga wipes. Those are their necessities. So those are the little things that come a long way, because sometimes they don't have any. So just a little help and being there for them, talking to them, showing them that, there's people thinking about them is really important because they're at the last stretch of their lives. So it's for me, it's my responsibility na din because it's a promise that I made to myself to make them feel happy, at least. Make them feel happy, feel loved, and feel that there are people who care for them. Because, it's really important because in some way, they have contributed to our society. Diba? If you think about it, they also contributed to the traditions that we have. So, eventually we'll all end up like them and we don't want to be neglected din, diba? So we can start as early as now para we can have a beautiful and more humane life. So it is also a reflection of our humanity din. If we neglect them, ano tayo, diba? So that's something that I really want to pursue even after my reign.
You've been doing this for 10 years and counting na, no?
Yes.
I guess it really goes to show na the advocacies that beauty queens choose, they really have to be rooted in personal experiences. And it's nice to hear na sobrang iba-iba yung mga causes na china-champion nyo. And it's actually, I think, my first time encountering a beauty queen with a holistic elderly wellness advocacy. So that's really interesting.
Yes, actually, it's not that common. And not everyone advocates for them. That's why I say they're not very, but most of the lolas and lolas, especially those who doesn't have families, they feel neglected. So, yan yung help ko na sa kanila. I also have aunts and aunts lang actually who are single and old. So they don't have family members to really take care of them. And I just imagine, like what if they are so frail na hindi na nila kaya yung self nila, who will help them? So those are the instances that really makes me stay up awake at night thinking like, what can I help? So yun, mga homes talaga is really important.
Yeah. Pero I hope na you start a chain reaction na more beauty queens
Diba?
will follow, will also have this advocacy.
Yes.
Yeah. Pero before we let you go, I'd also like to ask Gwen and Sasha, how are the two of you preparing for Miss International and Miss Globe? Like, how have the past few weeks looked for you, and how is it going to look in the next few months?
Let's start with the one competing on October.
Oh my god. So yeah, as of now, I'm taking the pageant period as an advantage because whatever I started when did we start? February? Whatever I started in February, it's just gonna keep rolling until October and November. So I'm gonna continue. Yes, after my vacation.
She'll be having a vacation. She deserves it.
After my vacation, I'll be connecting with my passerella trainer, Ate Anton, my Q&A trainer, Ate Mitch, our passerella and Q&A trainer. And I'll probably start on finding a mentor for my talent. Oh my gosh, there's a talent portion. Oh my gosh, fun
Do you want to
fact.
dance?
Tara, ikaw mentor ko. Ikaw mentor ko. Yeah,
I don't know, I haven't tried
fun
that.
fact, because Binibining is my 4th pageant. The past 3 pageants do not have talent. Grabe. So this is my first time learning one. But it's okay. I can learn anything as long as there's a mentor.
Would you be able to give us like a hint of
hint?
what your talent will be?
Actually, I gave 2. So one of them is about culture. That's a good hint. And yeah, besides Q&A, the mental and the physical aspect, I'm gonna keep going to the gym, keeping up with my diet. I have to sustain myself for about a month there in Phuket, Thailand. So it's very crucial that I keep up with my health holistically as well.
Philippines!
But at least you'll be by the beach, right?
Exactly. It's gonna be fun.
Sama kami.
Okay.
Ako naman, again, I have more than a year to prepare, so I'm very excited first to focus on what I can do here to help our communities along with BPCI. But when it comes to the preparations, I'm excited to learn the language, their culture as well, just so I know how to connect to them better. And what else? I'm planning to watch and support Katrina Johnson this year, just so I could see how the pageant really goes. And I'm excited for that. And what else should I prepare for? A lot of things also for the trainings, but maybe I'll start when it comes nearer. I really want to focus now since I have a lot of time. I want to focus on collaborating with the organizations for the charities that we have to do. So, yeah, one day at a time.
Yeah, looking forward to it. But at least like you have like an opportunity pa to immerse yourself in like what it'll look like when you watch Katrina compete.
True. We're all rooting for her. I hope she wins.
Yeah, I know.
She will win.
Yes.
Though that's gonna be a lot of pressure for me if she wins, but I'm rooting for her to win.
Yeah, but good pressure, diba?
Miracles are real and it happens, so baka back to back.
Yeah.
Let's aim for a back to back. Yes.
So I wanted to ask just one last question to tie everything together. With everything that's happening now in the Philippines and in the world, why is it important now more than ever to be a Binibining with the platform that each of you have?
Given this platform, it really is so powerful. I realized this when I started joining pageants years before. And until now, it is really a calling because we're not here just for our own sakes. Kung para sa amin lang, pwedeng nagpapahinga na lang kami ngayon. But we are called for such a big purpose that are bigger than ourselves. And we're here now. We've been doing media rounds for a week already, and we're given the chance to talk about things that matter to us, and our opinions on what we should do, on our advocacies, on charities, on even social matters and social news. So this is why we're here, and a lot of people are still celebrating pageantry, especially Binibining Pilipinas. When we were there on the coronation night, that's what I've been thinking the whole night. Like, wow, we have a lot of audience. A lot of people are celebrating this platform. And maybe because they know that this is still essential now. This is still a powerful tool for us to speak about, again, our causes and for us to empower the youth and the children and everyone watching us. As someone who's been empowered by a beauty pageant, by Binibining Pilipinas, and now being here, I still feel why it's still important and relevant. And again, Binibining Pilipinas remains so relevant until now because they have a lot of long-term partners which they have been helping and reaching out to. And a lot of people can attest to that, especially their partners, their charities, because we've seen, even in our competition, we've been visiting a lot of organizations and we've seen people change lives. The people that we've been supporting, the children that comes to us, thanking us for the inspiration that we give, that means a lot to us. And that's why we continue to be relevant, especially now that there are a lot of things happening in our country. And we're always asked about what we can do, even on our final Q&As. And yeah, that I hope it answers that.
You took all...
Sorry, it's okay.
Representative namin. What she said.
But yeah, I'm so passionate about it because yeah, it's true. Yeah. And these are empowered women facing a lot of people, sharing inspiration also.
Yeah, and I've said this, I think, like multiple times already throughout this interview, but I really love that you are championing such a diverse set of causes, and I'm sure that you'll be able to use your platform to spread more of that and hopefully like inspire more people to take on those causes as well.
Thank you. And thank you for having us here and for giving us the chance to speak also.
Of course. It was a pleasure getting to hear about all your stories today.
Thank you.
Thank you. And of course, thank you also to everyone who tuned in tonight. If you have any thoughts on the Binibining Pilipinas Queens stories or anything that they shared today, you can download the Rappler app for free. Once again, I'm Juno and this has been Rappler Talk. Thank you for watching.
Have a wonderful Friday night.
Yes. Have a good weekend.
Yeah.